Hi, my name is Elise, and today I wanted to talk about why I am vegan or why I follow a plant-based diet. So to start off, a vegan is someone who does not consume animal products. This means no meat, no dairy, no poultry, no eggs, no fish, nothing that comes from an animal. And ethical vegans like myself abstain from animal products altogether, such as cosmetics and leather and stuff like that. So I started transitioning to becoming a vegan when I was 17 years old, actually after I watched a documentary called Cowspiracy on Netflix. It took me a year to fully transition to being vegan, so I was fully vegan when I was 18 years old. To give you some context, I'm now 20 years old, about to be 21. So it definitely took me a year to fully transition to being vegan, but after I watched that documentary, I went vegetarian immediately. Never ate meat again, and then it took me the next year to fully become vegan. So I started off becoming vegan for honestly pretty materialistic reasons. I wanted my skin to be better. I wanted to just make it easier for me to be skinnier and healthier, but then it sort of evolved into much more. I will say that I was always vegan because I saw the environmental effects, the positive environmental effects of being vegan, and I really care about the environment, so that really made me want to become vegan. But now I'm going to jump into some studies about veganism that I would like to share with you all. So one diet has shown that veganism reduces your blood pressure and lowers your risk of heart disease because processed meats are linked to heart disease. Studies have also shown that populations with mostly plant-based diets have longer lifespans. Populations that eat mostly animal products have higher rates of chronic disease. And some other studies show that people should avoid processed artificial food. These foods can be high in sugar, sodium, trans fats, preservatives, and are stripped of original nutrients. People should also avoid added fats and sugars. Rich fatty food and sweets offer no nutrients and create addiction-like cravings. Another study shows that reducing the intake of saturated fat, animal hormones, and ooh, there's a train. Another study has shown that reducing the intake of saturated fat, animal hormones, and cholesterol while increasing your intake of fresh fruits and veggies has the potential to reduce the risk of cancer, diabetes, obesity, and heart disease. The average American cholesterol level is 210 milligrams per deciliter, which is higher than the medically acceptable range, which is 150 to 200. The average cholesterol of a vegan in the US, however, is 146. This is a study that I didn't hear about until actually doing research for this video, and that is a study done by Nobel Prize winner Elizabeth Blackburn found that a vegan diet caused more than 500 genes to change in 3 months, turning on genes that prevent disease and turning off genes that cause cancer, heart disease, and other illnesses. So I feel like a huge positive to veganism is the fact that you're not harming animals. But I will say that I do think veganism has an even bigger impact on the environment, and that is the main reason that I've been vegan and continue to be vegan, and foresee myself being vegan is because it is such a positive impact on the environment, or it has such a positive impact on the environment, and let me tell you how. And also, just a little side note, I have all my sources linked below. I wanted this to be a pretty informational video because although I do have my own opinions about veganism, I think that the facts pretty much speak for themselves. So, animal agriculture causes an estimated 18% of all greenhouse gases. And in the United States, 42% of agriculture emissions come from animal agriculture. Also, according to recent climate research, animal agriculture accounts for more than half of human-caused greenhouse gases. Raising livestock causes 65% of all nitrous oxide emissions. If you don't know what nitrous oxide is, basically it is a chemical that is found in our atmosphere that is not good for our atmosphere, that along with methane and carbon dioxide. But nitrous dioxide stays in our atmosphere for, I believe, 150 to 200 years, if I'm recalling that correctly. So that's a long time. The UN admits that the livestock sector is one of the top 2 or 3 most significant contributors to the most serious environmental problems at every scale, from local to global. The United Nations Environment Program has also stated that a global shift away from meat, dairy, and eggs is crucial to save the planet from world hunger, fuel poverty, and the worst impacts of climate change. Meat consumption is thought to be one of the leading causes of modern species extinctions. As land is cleared for animals to graze or to grow feed for them, wildlife loses their homes. Cows produce 150 billions of methane per day. That's one of those bad chemicals that goes into the atmosphere. And emissions for agriculture are projected to increase 800% by 2050. Animal products cause 27% of our water footprint. That's 76 gallons a year per person. One steak takes 7,500 liters of water to produce. Producing the same quantity of pasta requires just 925 liters. Livestock or livestock feed covers 1/3 of the Earth's ice-free land. 1/3. Oh, this was a crazy one to me that I did not know about until researching for this video. A dairy farm with 2,500 cows produces the same amount of waste as a city of 411,000 people. These huge cesspools of manure can emit toxic gases, contaminate drinking water, harbor disease-causing pathogens, and kill wildlife. All of what I just said there is one of the biggest reasons why dairy farmers or dairy farms are so negatively impactful to the environment. 3/4 of the world's fisheries are exploited or depleted. For every 1 kilogram of fish caught, up to 5 kilograms of unintended marine life are also caught and then discarded as bycatch. Dolphins, sharks, and turtles are among the accidental victims. Animal agriculture is responsible for up to 91% of the destruction of the Amazon rainforest. Let me let that sink in for a minute. Yeah, this is a fun one. A person who follows a vegan lifestyle produces the equivalent of 50% less carbon dioxide than a meat eater and uses an 11th of the oil, 1/13 of the water, and 1/18 of the land. The world's cattle alone consume a quantity of food equal to the caloric needs of 8.7 billion people. That's more than the entire current population on this earth. So basically, if we just ate the food that we were feeding to the massive amount of animals in the animal agriculture industry, if we just ate that ourselves, we could end world hunger like that. Producing protein from chickens requires 3 times as much land as producing protein from soybeans. I could go on and on, but I'm gonna start talking about the nutritional side of veganism now. So some people argue that you can't get all your nutrients from a vegan diet. That's not true. I'm here to break that myth. So the daily value for zinc is 11 milligrams per day. Zinc is found in hemp seeds, cereal, tofu, lentils. Zinc is one of the nutrients that people say you can't get from plants, but there's some plants that you can get it from. So you can be mindful if you are choosing a vegan diet. Another nutrient that people say that vegans can't get is omega-3 or DHA. That's found in seaweed, algae, chia seeds, hemp seeds, flax seeds, walnuts, edamame, kidney beans, soybean oil. So yeah, you get the picture. Another thing though is B12. I will say that B12, oh, there's a train. One moment. Okay. I I will say that there is one nutrient that is not plentiful in plant-based sources, and that is B12. But you can get that from fortified foods such as nutritional yeast. That's how I get mine. You can also take supplements. You can also get shots. Like, there's a lot of different ways you can get it, but that is the one nutrient that if you are vegan, I would be very conscious about that one thing. That's the one thing. Another common argument for a vegan diet is, where do you even get your protein? Do vegans get protein? How do vegans get protein? Let me tell you, my friends. So we need protein because it is good for our bone health and our muscle mass. And researchers found that vegetarian protein is just as beneficial for muscle mass and strength as animal protein, which means that you can get the same amount of protein from plants as you can from animals, and it works just the same. So your highest sources of protein is going to be almonds, oats, broccoli, spinach, lentils, quinoa, beans should definitely be on there. I know that beans are high in protein, but you know, there's a lot of protein in vegetables, and a lot of people think that meat has more protein than vegetables. That's often not true. Broccoli, for example, has more protein than steak. So just a little FYI. And also, there are alternatives to vegan diets. If you don't want to go completely vegan, you want to have a little bit of dairy or a little bit of fish or something, I don't know, I won't judge you, but if you do still want to make an impact on the environment, maybe just try to do like Meatless Monday. Meatless Monday is a great alternative to being vegan, or just generally trying to cut down on your meat consumption, because meat is just, not only processed meat is really harmful to your body, but as I just told you, it's pretty bad for the environment too. So if you could just switch for some plant alternatives every now and then, you would still be making a big change. So yeah, I'm gonna link all my resources below, but thank you guys so much for watching this video. This is one that I've been wanting to do for a while because I always get asked, why am I vegan? So this is why I'm vegan. Thank you so much for watching, and until I see you next, peace.